Nathan Ruiz is the editor-in-chief of the school newspaper, and he joins us now. Nathan, good morning. Thanks for joining us. What's the reaction been to your column?
It's been mostly from people from Central Michigan. Obviously, they got a hold of it through their school newspaper, pushed it out. So it's been a lot of it's been fairly negative, understandably, I think, from Central Michigan folk. Part of the issue from our perspective with that was we reached out to Central Michigan's paper about doing kind of a head-to-head editorial situation where we write one, they write one, and they never got back to us. I spoke to their sports editor briefly, said he'd get back to me, and he never did. And at a certain point, we had a paper to put together, so our plan was to just write the editorial and put it out ourselves. Next morning, turns out that CM Life pushed it out there and kind of said, you know, OSU student paper is saying that CMU should give up the win. We disagree. What do you think? So they kind of just fed it to the wolves in that way. So from our perspective, that was really frustrating. They kind of just threw us out there to their readership. And all their only line was, we disagree. But again, I think the editorial is partially being misinterpreted. And I think it comes down to the use of our use of the word integrity.
Yep.
I think people are seeing that and assuming are saying that CMU lacks integrity, which is not at all what we're saying.
Okay, how did you get to this point, Nathan, that you explain the premise of why Central Michigan should give that victory back?
I'm going to say this straight up. I don't think Central Michigan should give the victory back. The premise of the article is not Central Michigan should give up the win. It's saying Central Michigan has the opportunity to show integrity if it were to do so.
Do you know if they're even able to do this with the NCAA? Did you check with the NCAA?
My understanding is that it is up to Central Michigan, that if OSU wanted to appeal to the NCAA, it would be irrelevant. They would have to appeal to Central Michigan. And it would then be in Central Michigan's hands to say, we're going to give up this win, which I don't have any expectation of them to do. OSU wouldn't do it if they were in the same situation. And so it's entirely in Central Michigan's hands, to my understanding.
Would you have written the same column if Oklahoma State had won on a play like this?
You know, that's an interesting point, Dan. I don't think we would have. I think the story would have been more like OSU, from our perspective at least, OSU escape.
But Nathan, it's about integrity.
And see, that's like an interesting point. And I think then maybe we make the argument that like OSU has the chance to prove its integrity. Again, like I'm not trying to bash the people of Central Michigan. That was not our point in writing this editorial. It was not meant to be an attack on the people who attend Central Michigan and alumni of Central Michigan. It was saying, here's an opportunity to show that integrity. And OSU, you know, prides itself on integrity as well. I think our use of the word integrity was potentially flawed. I think it's being misinterpreted. But, you know, I think if it goes the other way, then I think it'd be our responsibility as an independent student publication from Oklahoma State University to maybe write that same editorial.
No, but now you set yourself up that something happens with Oklahoma State and something happens to their benefit, then you're probably going to have to come to the defense of the opposing school. What's the responsibility of Oklahoma State's coaching staff to know the rules?
Oh, definitely it's on them, too. I said that. I spoke with a student radio station at Central Michigan a couple days ago, and I said the same thing. Mike Gundy didn't know the rules or was unsure of the rule, and that's a huge issue. I think, you know, Mike Gundy has taken ownership of not understanding the rule completely or not knowing that he understood the rule completely. He went out there immediately after the game and said, I called the pass play, it's my fault. Like, he took ownership of it. So there is plenty of responsibility. Central Michigan, they were given an extra play, and they played it. That is what happened in that game. The refs gave them an extra play. OSU did not argue it, and Central Michigan ran another play. That is what occurred. And it's not about Central Michigan running the play. It's about afterwards, they have an opportunity to say, hey, you know, this is a great win. That play was amazing, but that play shouldn't have happened. And so I have zero expectation on them to do that. This editorial is not calling upon them to do that. It's just saying if they were to do so, it would be a great example of their integrity.
Nathan, thanks for joining us. Keep stirring it up.
Thank you. You have a great day.
All right, Nathan Ruiz.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.